Hey everybody. Yeah, so we're in this working with this precept, eh? The hmm, you know, it's around sensual and sexual misconduct, yeah, not wanting to disrespect, exploit in any way another's body, another's space. And of course the other aspect uh, of this precept, as with all precepts, is that we don't want to abuse, disrespect our own body, neglect, abuse, disrespect our own body. That's the other side of it. Not just others, but my own. No, but this one. Yeah. And in some ways, it's this aspect of the precept that may be even more relevant to many of us. Yeah, more immediately, more obviously relevant. Yeah, to us. How are we treating our own bodies? How are we not treating our own bodies? There's you've probably heard somewhere along the lines of the six realms of existence, and they have in Buddhist psychology. Now, they're often seen as well as six mental, emotional mind states that we visit in our lives, that we visit them all. Uh, and we see, the challenging aspect of many of those sides of ourselves. Yeah. And they're parts of our nature. There are parts of our psychological nature. Um, One of them is if you've heard of it, the Preta, Preta, or the hungry ghost. The hungry ghost. Yeah. We could say that that hungry ghost part of us, the metaphor, the image, perhaps you've seen the image of the hungry ghost. Hungry ghost has a really big belly, but a really, really narrow throat and a small mouth. The metaphor being, it can never feel fully satisfied. Yeah, can never get enough nutriment, enough food. Yeah, it's always reaching for more, always wanting to be filled up with more. Yeah, never content, never content. Yeah, and we can see this we know we know this part of ourselves. We know this part of ourselves. It's just it's part of our nature. It's part of our nature. It's there. It's not, it doesn't totally define us. We have other sides of our nature as well. But there is that part of us, right? That is not content. It wants more. It wants to be filled up. It wants our aloneness to be filled up. It wants to be filled with something or other. And of course, we could say one of the main places, or one of the ones we can recognize immediately, is around food itself. Is around food itself, right? Yeah. Food, as we know, it can be so many things. Of course, of course, it's nutriment. It's medicine. We need food, right? But food can also be a substitute for love when food is love. Food can calm our anxiety when we don't know how to calm anxiety some other way. Maybe if I eat more, you know, food can substitute for a lot of so a lot of that emotional feeling that I need something else to fill me up. I need more to fill me up. I need to override whatever whatever signals my body may be sending to me that I'm already full, that I already have enough food. There's a tendency to override those signals. Why? What is that? What's going on? What's driving that? What's driving that? Are we respecting our bodies there with food? Yeah, is this a place where there is respect, where there is care? Hmm? You know, you know, maybe this isn't a big deal for you. It's a big deal in our culture. Otherwise, oh, why would we be number one in the world per capita in both diabetes and heart disease? Hmm? Absolutely food related. Absolutely full food related. Yeah. Why would that be? You know, why would that be? Why would that be if not for the hungry ghost in us running amok? Kind of running the show, running the show. Hmm? You know, that sense of not enough, that sense of not enough, that sense of not enough. And of course, we can see that in other areas as well. Yeah. Have you ever had that feeling when you're scrolling the internet that you're trying to fill something up in a way? That what is that? What is that? I go from page to page to page. I don't even want to feel what it is, but it's a feeling of I that scramble. When you're in that scramble mode with the internet. Have you ever done that? Have you ever done that? Yeah, yeah. Mm. That sense of wanting more stimuli, more interest, more. It's somehow not enough. That's feeling, and kind of just it's simply not enough. There's not enough here. The present moment is not enough. What life is offering in this present moment, right? We see this as we dial it down into meditation. It's just not enough. We want more. We, we need. We want something a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. Some of this is just part of our nature. It's part of the way the mind works. But it's when it starts to spill over into that kind of craving, into imbalance, right? Into that kind of discontent that is based on wanting more and more and more, and imagining that I will get filled up by something out here. It must be out here. Yeah, yeah. As opposed to the practice of contentment itself. The thing about the hungry ghost, that part of ourselves, is it's a significant part of our dukkha. It's a significant part of our dukkha because it plays out in our countless strategies of acquisition, the wanting more. And it plays out in our reinforcing of that sense of not quite being enough in one way or another. And we can hurt ourselves. We can hurt ourselves, and we can hurt our bodies by uh, allowing that part to become too much a part of the way we move through the world. Yeah, yeah. And so it's one to pay attention to. Again, I've mentioned this with eating. With eating, a lot of them, Susan will often say, "Please just put your fork down in between bites," to see the difference between the enjoyment of food. It's not about taking away the enjoyment of food, and the craving that's there for more, for the next bite, even before I've completed this bite. It's right there. It's visible right there. We're not talking about something esoteric here. Do you know? It's that wanting to be filled up and not feeling ever completely filled up. You know, it's the difficulty that we have in resting in a sense of enoughness. And even when we're sitting in meditation, huh? I want more. These sensations aren't enough. These thoughts aren't quite right. They aren't enough. These feelings, not quite enough. I need another story, another fantasy, another distraction. I want something else. This isn't quite the right meditation. Yeah. It's that sense of even in meditation, making a demand on the present moment. You see, it can play out in very subtle levels, this dynamic. We can see it on so many levels. Yeah. And when we can, and when we do, because we'll have an opportunity here in a few minutes, a couple of minutes to meditate, can we just take one breath and go, oh, there it is again. But this moment is full, as if this moment were full, as if this next breath, maybe I can't stay there yet, but as if this breath were more than enough. Yeah. As if this breath and this body, this moment, this sound with the coqui frogs out here right now, right? Which you hear? Yeah. This, yeah, this is enough. This is enough. And this is enough. And this is enough. And beginning to watch out for those moments when we're starting to slip into hungry ghost space, you know, in our lives, out here in our lives, or even in our meditation practice, you know, you know, it's something to notice. Notice how it creates dukkha. Notice how it itself is the movement of dissatisfaction. You know? Dissatisfaction isn't something that just happens to us. It's something we participate in by by wanting more to fill us up. Yeah. So it's a very poignant part of our natures. Yeah. And one that we don't, well, it has a seat at the table, but we don't want it to have the main seat at the table too much of the time. There's a lot of suffering there when it takes the main seat at the table. Yeah. So it's just bringing more of our practice to that, bringing more of our mindfulness to that, bring more of our caring attention to that. Yeah? And coming back to the moment of enough, the enough breath, yeah, the enough moment. Ah, yes. This is why so often we'll say returning as if to something dear, as if to something precious, as if when the mind wanders, returning as if to a fountain that is already full and overflowing and rich right here and right now. That's a practice. We practice that. We practice that. Yeah. 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 So bringing that sense of you know, honoring that side of the precept, yeah, taking care of this body, taking care of this body as best we can, as best we can. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. So let's open up the body now. Let's open up the body. Bringing some care to that. Yeah. However it is for you, whatever needs attention. Maybe a couple of deeper than usual breaths, creating some room there. And lightly closing the eyes and bringing some attention to this body breathing as we sit here all together. I often start out with, and I'll invite you to start out with this appreciation for how much is already here, the enoughness of what's already here. Yeah. That is to say, uh, the heart is already beating. We're not doing that. Yeah. The breath is already moving. Awareness is already here. The body is already functioning in so many ways, visible and invisible. And life is already moving in us and through us. And there is so much of miracle in all of this right here. So the invitation to start from this place of fullness. Glass definitely more than half fullness. Yeah. And being present to that sensibility. And of course, that sense of being already full, already enough, of course, that will slip away. Notice how that slips away. Yeah. When it does, that's why we call it practice too. When it does, again, with kindness, if possible, with kindness. Again, returning. The next breath is already here. When sensations are already here, announcing themselves, sounds arise. A soft breath and welcoming attitude. And continuing to orient in the direction of comfort and ease. And a sense of enoughness. Enoughness. Softening and allowing. As if everything had a right to be there, everything that's arising in your experience, as if it were part of the ecosystem. As if that were true. The last few minutes of the meditation, settling back a bit more, receiving, receiving life as it arises within you in the form of sensations, feelings, and thoughts.
Thank you all for your practice.
Thank you, everybody.
Let me